Now, this is BS because the bays faced east-west, and with how the cars pulled in, top workers got the sun during the day, and the pit worker got it in the evening. I shake my head as I am walking in, and like a T-Rex in a dinosaur movie, it attracted Karen's attention. She decides to shout at me, "You got something to say, you big bish," and I just keep walking. I told Sue she needed to have a long talk with Peter before Karen's mouth wrote checks he would have to cash, and she says, "I just keep the books, don't involve me." This behavior goes on for another year, and finally, I am at my limit. On the day I started my malicious compliance, I was in a very bad mood. I had woken up to news that a good friend of mine, responsible for me surviving being blown up in Iraq, was taken out by a drunk driver. Not wanting to deal with anyone, I tell the shop I will be working the pit all day and to just let me be. These guys have been working with me for a few years now and know something is up. I never once thought that this would be a day that I would need to deal with Karen, since I was working at the furthest shop from the main shop, and it was in the opposite direction of the casinos. But I wasn't so lucky, or maybe I was. Peter and Karen show up, and she storms into the pit, screaming, "Peter, come look at this mess." I have no idea what she is talking about because I always kept the pit spotless and would clean as I worked, where a lot of others would clean at the end of the day. Her complaint was about 50 of the most common oil filters we would use in a day being stacked on my waste drums for easy access to me, so I wouldn't have to wait for the top guys to hand me filters. I did this all the time, and Peter knew about it and never cared before. He comes down, looks around, and tells me, like he is talking to a teenager, "Clean up this pigsty." I shake my head and say, "Today's not the day, Peter, move on and take her with you." This apparently infuriated Karen, who, of course, thought it was the utmost disrespect to her and Peter. He tells me if I don't like it, I am free to leave. So I left. Now, don't freak out, this story isn't over yet, that is just the first flap of the butterfly's wings that started a massive shiz storm. The next day, Peter calls me and asks me to swing by the main store on my way home. I think he is going to apologize about the day before, figuring one of the other guys might have told him why I was so on edge. No, that was not what this was about. Peter was calling me in to inform me that for the next 6 months, I would be on probation for my actions. During these 6 months, I would only be paid $50 a day, and I wouldn't receive the normal $20 a day I received for driving to the other shops. I ask if he is serious about this and if he has seriously considered what he was doing. This is when Peter lets his true colors shine. He tells me I am lucky I wasn't fired for my constant disrespect towards him and the co-owner Karen. If he didn't pity me for being a struggling disabled veteran, he would have fired me long ago. Which is funny, because I never once discussed my money with anyone I worked with.